Hi, my group is Carlos Rincón, Fernando José Benjumea, Juan Sebastián Sánchez, Santiago Espinosa, and me, Ana Maria Suarez. I will start with some general aspects of the territory and the building. Talking about the territory, the building will be in Barranquilla, near to the port. The average annual wind speed is 3.9 meters per second, direction northeast. The maximum temperature is 31 Celsius degrees and the minimum is 23.3 Celsius degrees. Talking about the building, it will be bioclimatic. That means that the construction of the building considers the climatic condition of the place which is located and focus on the use of available natural resources. The building will have an air take in the first floor. The building will be in direction of the wind of the wind speed, that is northeast. And there will be an air hole in the top. The first floor will have the information and the pavement points. Then there will be a spiral stairs to the upper of the floor. On the second floor will be all about of vegetables. The third floor will be all about fruits, any type of fruits. The fourth floor will be meat, any type of meat. And in the fifth floor, the final floor, is seafood, all the type of seafood. And the building will have solar panels. The material helps to reduce the temperature by evaporation, and this will be helpful for the cool of the building. And in the interior will be use radiation barrier that prevents the heat from the solar radiation.
Also, in general terms, and before going to with the certifications, it's important to say that the general and the specific use of in the building is a commercial building that going to sell different products of food, with the distributions that before my partner explained. Each floor have a different use or going to sell a different product.
For our project, we think the certification lead is very important, that has been taken into account, because this certification is around 40,000 constructions around the world, and this allows people know about the positive impact of this construction, so make the certification of the building a sustainable construction. For that, in our project, we have very specific things to achieve that goal of the certification led. For example, the characteristics of our project, they are allowing to obtain a gold lead certification that is actually a very well designed to be very positive, have a positive impact to the world. So to achieve this certification, there are a lot of characteristics that we have to follow. First of all, I'm going to talk about the location and transport of the city. This is located in Barranquilla, so the project site is in an area that is served and existing by a transport network. This means that it will have easy things, the facilities to the people to transport to the local city and to come closer to the area. Also have a limit parking, which means that have to improve the alternative options because it's very important that the people that is arriving in car have reduced this impact. Also, we are promoting the use of bicycles where we have installed bike racks and showers for the employers. This is like an incentive of the people to use this kind of transport. Also, the project will have a relation and with companies about full vehicles. We have offered them like an station near closer to the area of the supermarket. For the second aspect, now we will have taken into account the sustainable side. This is very important because taking into account the materials of the construction about their negative impact. So, for example, our project will have around 130 meters of green walls that allow customers and employers always be in contact with the nature. So we are focused in the green spaces to the people. This means that we are minimize the hard surface. For example, the driveways are constructed and smart, and they have permeable surface with traditional roads. This means that we'll have a smart construction in our project to reduce the CO2 contamination. Also, we are avoiding light pollution. This is the with the materials that we include to our project. We are overheating lighting, reflection, and intrusion using a smart design. So these are the aspects that we are including in our project.
Another parameter that the LEED certification takes is the energy and atmosphere. In this case, we'll be focused principally on a bioclimatic design that saves 55 energy every day. The second is a LED light system that consumes 12% less energy compared to the international standards. And the last one is an alternative source of energy based on hydroelectric plant that ensures 100% green electricity for the building. Another parameter are the materials and sources. During the construction, we will be recycling 95% of the waste generated by the building. The materials of the building will have lowest level of volatile organic compounds, and we will have a separation room to recycle materials every day. Other parameter is the indoor environmental quality. In this case, we will be controlling the CO2 levels inside the store. Therefore, we will have tobacco-free spaces. Therefore, the smoking is only allowed in specific areas outside the building. The intakes, the air intakes, will be located on strategic places where will be far from the smoking areas and far from the cars that generate CO2 emissions. In terms of innovation, we will be create a plan, a program for society and other stakeholders that consists on continue recycling the waste of the food near to the place in our supermarket.
Well,
The second certification that the building will be designed to meet is the Net Zero. Net Zero certification means that all the energy that the building needs must come from renewable resources. This energy must be produced in the same place. So if we have the building, you have to create some strategies to create your own energy in that place. And for that reason, we suggest some options to have the capacity to create the energy, the enough energy to demonstrate to the building. The use of solar panels, a water-based system of cooling, and why not the use of new materials in the construction as the expanded polystyrene, because in Barranquilla is so hot. So with these strategies, with the system, a cool system, and the new materials as expanded polystyrene, this will help to reduce the amount of money that the building and the people have to invest in the energy that they need to maintain refrigerated the meat and the fish, the food in general, all the time. In Barranquilla it's so hard, and the principal idea of the building is not only the certification, is to find a way to reduce the money and the time and the footprint.
In the building, we decide to use a method of cooling with water that is based on the hot air that is sucked from the environment. It goes through a tank where cold water is added to the filter coolers that has been producing cold air. On the other hand, the building will be located near to the port of Barranquilla. Since this place is the point of arrival of important products, national or international, the product can be exhibited quickly and they will be fresh and with little transport, having a minimum probability of damage to the products.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the third and the last certification. This certification is passive house, and the conditions that the building must have to meet this certification. So passive house have basic principles. The first principle is that in the building have to continue the east wave throughout the envelope. The second principle is that the building have to be extremely hermetic, so preventing the infiltration of outside air and the loss of air conditioning. The third certification is that the doors and the windows have to be a high performance and a high quality. And the fourth principle is that the building have to be use of balanced ventilation to heat and humidity. And finally, fifth, the use the ventilation in the building have to be a use of a minimum space. Then about the first certification, as for the insulation to the envelope, as mentioned before, all the facade would be composed in part for a thermal insulin material. So to this way we can preventing the exchange of the temperature, and we can maintain the internal temperature of the building. To this way we can supply or comply the first and the second principle, because we to continue this way throughout the envelope, and with this strategy, the building going to be so hermetic, so we can comply the two principles. Then about the third principle in the certification, the use of high quality windows and doors all throughout all the building is warranted. Then the next principle, in the building we will have a natural current of air that would enter in the first floor, and after would go out in the last floor, the floor number 5, and the cold air enter in the first floor, and last in the final floor the hot air go out. To this way we can comply the fourth certification. And after to the last certification, in all the building we have use a minimum space conditional system. So to this way and with these conditions, the building can supply and comply the certification of passive house. Finally, after this analysis and this hypothetical building, we have some conclusions. The first and the maybe most important conclusion is that in this building, the conditions and the structure can be so hard to have to do, but in this building we want to comply three different certifications, and the building is so strange. So we think that in a normal building or a simple residence, it's really easy comply at least one certification, and this way we can help a lot to the world and the persons that going to live in this building. Like a second conclusion, we can, in our opinion, we can say that with the LEED certification and the zero energy or net zero certification is enough to have a sustainable building. Is enough with just do this certification. Passive house is a good certification, but maybe with LED and net zero is so enough. And like last or finally conclusion, in the area constructions and for the all civil engineers is like so easy, or no easy, but is not impossible that to do like these little changes or have encountered this certification for the constructions, and this can be so good for the world, and in general so good for the persons that want to live here or near to these buildings. So it's like our responsibility to do these changes, to do and to have these certifications to be good and responsible civil engineers. Thanks.